Before we dive in, a quick shout out to the community that makes this possible. This show is brought to you by the You Run Podcast Network, a space where everyone is heard, loved and welcomed. To support the creators and find your next favourite show, please visit yourunpodcast.com.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Mark set the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's fucking long roundups. You run podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcast. You run podcast.
Stab. What else?
Hello everyone and welcome to the You Run Podcast. My name is Scott
And my name is Mark.
and we are the only interactive horror movie review show run and controlled by its listeners in the whole wide world. We are a review show. We talk about horror movies. We give deep dives after we've given a brief overview and our scores. We also scatter facts throughout, which unbelievably, there are not many for this, but I have a couple that are mind-blowingly good, arguably better than the movie. After our roundups, we then give some interactive fun. We do 3-word review. Today, we're playing a Scream-inspired game that Mark is going to absolutely hate.
Oh, brilliant.
And also, for the first time in over a year, the return of memes to make you mad because the Scream 7 fandom are fucking rabid, and I can't post anything about Scream 7 without World War 3 in the comments.
Well, they're all going to love this episode.
Well, I don't know. Half of the fan base is going to love this episode. The other half are going to be angry. Today we are covering Scream 7, despite previously saying that we wouldn't. The You Run podcast is exactly that. It's the You Run podcast. So when I make big bold statements and go, no, I'm not going to cover it, fuck you, and you all go, we want Scream 7, I just shut the fuck up and go, okay, and we cover it. We are not going to be caught up in any of the controversy that led to Scream 7 being the way it is. We're also not going to be talking about any of its AI or gambling marketing tactics, because that's got nothing to do with the movie. Instead, we're going to give you something that you're not going to find anywhere else on the internet: a free, impartial review of the actual fucking movie that we watched.
Yeah, too right, man. We don't need to dive into politics and shit here, man. We're a light-hearted entertainment show. Let's just keep it that way. Take note, everybody.
Scream 7 makes a return following the franchise lead, Sidney Prescott, and her new family as a new Ghostface killer emerges from the shadows, adding some new faces to the franchise and calling back some legacy ones, including some ones who have departed this earth convincingly. This film leans heavily into the use of AI, and how we're unable to distinguish between what is real and what is not, and what is just generated. And it adds a family dynamic that we've not seen in this franchise before. For me, this film is a real mix of highs and lows. The highs being the set pieces, for example, the opening, which honestly is one of the best in the franchise. The new characters, some of them are interesting and engaging, some of them are not. I'm really invested in Tatum and her dad. I think those two characters are fabulous. I actually prefer those to Sidney Prescott in this movie. The use of legacy characters, including Sidney, is fucking atrocious. Their names to put on a poster, to put bums in seat. None of them really serve any purpose. You could literally cut Chad, Gail, and Mindy out of this movie completely, and it would make zero fucking difference.
And make them a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, 99% of the early and closing reveals were ruined with the trailer and casting announcements. Had the Matthew Lillard return been hidden, I think that reveal would have been the best in the franchise and arguably the biggest "oh my fucking god" moment in the entirety of horror. The ending reveal was underwhelming. The motive was like, yeah, well, I felt like it. And I was just sat there going, the fuck? The fuck is this? I can't understand why people would really, really love this. And I also can't understand why people would really, really hate it. It's not the worst. It's not the best. It's average. My first watch of this, I watched this a couple of days after it was released. I hated it. I walked out angry and I put it straight on a Patreon episode and slammed it at the bottom of my rankings. On a second watch, after my initial disappointment and slight rage over the fact that Stu Marker hadn't returned had subsided, I didn't hate it as much. It's got cool moments, just a lot of them are spoiled with stupid shit around it. I think it's above average. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
All right, fair enough. I'm not a big Scream guy. I love the original. It's a slasher classic. You know me, I'm a slasher guy. But I don't think the greatness of that movie was ever replicated throughout the franchise. I think it's always been a constant wobble between what they should do with it and what they shouldn't do with it. Constantly back and forth trying to please the audience. Hence why so many of the main legacy characters have survived as long as they have throughout this franchise. They made a massive boo-boo with not paying Neve Campbell what she deserved to come back for Scream 6. And if anything, bringing her back for this movie was an even bigger mistake, in my opinion, because all they did was spent the entirety of it apologizing to her on screen to the audience. And I felt it. And I felt it throughout the entirety of the runtime, not only through the dialogue, but through the writing. It felt lazy. Really, really lazy. And I know this movie was hindered with rewrites due to the Melissa Barrera thing, and it wasn't the original intention of where this was supposed to go with the trilogy closing out. But it feels like that on screen. You know,
Yeah.
you notice these mistakes and you notice this last ditch effort to try and fulfill a contract without key players. And that's not to say that Neve isn't a key player within the franchise, but she's not a key player within the direction of what this story was supposed to be. I think Kevin Williamson does a fantastic job of directing this movie.
Yeah, I'll agree.
It really does look great. But the issue I have with it is Kevin Williams is a stronger writer than he is a director. So why the fuck did he not write the script for this film? Because it felt, you feel his absence here. You know, the writer just doesn't have a clue. There are so many lazy things throughout. There are so many obviously glaring directional cues and red herrings that are supposed to be red herrings throughout this film are so obviously set up to be red herrings that you don't even invest yourself in them throughout.
No, just dismiss them instantly.
Dismiss them instantly. It's very predictable to the point where even we get to the closing act and it was unpredictable because it's so shite. As it to the point where you're like, did you actually do this? Did you actually do this and announce these sort of cast members coming back? And this is what you present us with. A character that's had 30 seconds of screen time and zero connection to anybody within this movie. Are we really going down this road with it? And unfortunately, they do. If I've got to give it any highlights, I'll say the kills are great. I don't think anything will ever top the creativeness of Scream 6. And I think this tries to blend a lot of the grit and the brutality of Scream 6 with the classic slasher Scooby-Doo style stuff of the original 3. And it doesn't work very well, to be honest with you. There's stuff that I really like, but then it instantly follows up with some sort of humorous element to it. One of the key ones being the beer pumps kill later on in the movie. As great as that kill was, it immediately had me rolling my eyes afterwards, what they followed up with and the beer dribbling out the mouth. I was like, you had it. You nailed it. You didn't need to do that little gag at the end. And there's a lot of stuff throughout this movie that I found myself constantly being like, oh God, we're not that fucking stupid. You know,
Yeah.
we're not that dumb. You don't need to drill this home. We know who these people are. You do not need to spell it out for us. So it was a very, very disappointing movie to what was a really strange couple of years of build up and hype and cast announcements and director announcements to give us an end product that is probably really far down in my ranking of the franchise. I think the only thing it would struggle to stoop lower than is Scream 3, in my opinion. And that's only because I hate that movie so much. As I say, I'm not a Scream guy. I don't want to offend anybody with my opinions, so know that when you listen to the kind of shit I'm going to say about this film. For me, it was poor. Really, really poor. But I also enjoyed the mindless slasher elements of it. So if I was to split my opinion in two and rank it as a Scream movie, it's dreadful to the point where I wouldn't even really want to give it a score. I'd be like a 1 at best. But as a slasher movie, there is a lot of key stuff there that I really enjoyed. So I'm going to go right down the middle with it. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. I would say for those of you who are diehard Scream fans, if you really looked at it and broke it down for what it is and ignored the fact that it's a movie within your beloved franchise, I think we can all collectively come together and agree that this was a really bad movie.
Yeah, you say about ranking. I think we should rank them before we move on. So I recently done a ranking video, and this and Scream 2 lingered at the bottom, and I was undecided where I put them. But after a second watch, I know exactly what my ranking is. So top to bottom: Scream, Scream 4, Scream 6, Scream 5, Scream 3, Scream 7, Scream 2.
Right. I mean, we're not too far off, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things that you've got to take into key consideration with Scream movies. The reveal is the most detrimental part. The kills are very, very important, and the tone and atmosphere. And one of the things that really is varied throughout this is the tone and the atmosphere due to location. One thing that I will say that I liked about Scream 7 is this is the most Woodsboro of a Scream movie I've seen since the original, and I really like the tonal feeling of that. However, my ranking comes in as number 1, obviously, number 4, obviously, number 6, number 2, number 5, number 7, number 3.
The fact you've got number 2 that high hurts my soul.
I like 2 for a lot of reasons. If it weren't for the singing in the canteen on the table thing, I would have put it a lot higher, I think. I hate that scene, but I really love Timothy Olyphant, and I really like Mrs. Loomis. I think they are, barring Billy and Stu and Thingy Roberts,
Jill,
they are the best of the reveals this franchise has to offer. In fact, I think they're probably better than Emma Roberts. They're probably second in terms of killer reveals is Mrs. Loomis and Timothy Olyphant, Mickey. I think they're top tier Ghostface reveals, in my opinion. And there's a lot of cool stuff in that. There's a lot of really cool scenes. I like the university campus setting. And as well, it's also the one where they kill the rules guy. I've forgotten his name. Randy. Yeah. Randy's kill in the back of the van is epic. And again, they came out in quick succession, and it felt very consistent with the first movie. And I do tend to like to watch Scream 1 and then Scream 2 immediately after. I can always skip part 3, though.
Yeah, see, I watched Scream 1, I skipped 2 and 3, and watched 4. My franchise literally goes 1, 4, 6, the end.
See, that's the thing. I would quite happily watch this franchise in order and enjoy watching them in order, barring part 3. I would always skip part 3. Hold on. Which is the what's his name? What's his name? Who he thinks goes down for killing his mum? What's his name? Lib Schreider's character.
Cotton Weary.
Cotton Weary. Which is the opening kill where he's ranting on the phone? He's like about his TV show 100% Cotton.
I think that's 3.
Yeah. All right. 3 has a really cool opening kill sequence with Cotton Weary.
Yeah, and that's the best name for a show ever. 100%.
As soon as he said, "Oh, the TV show 100% Cotton," I was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you gotta go. You have to go now."
Right, let's dive into an ad and then let's review this movie.
Yo, grab a cold one, kick back and turn it up loud. The 3-class clowns are back to draw a crowd. From the honking legends to the stories in the dust. Crack a window, settle in. In crust we trust, it's the news that's weird and the takes that are wrong. The unintelligent broadcasts you wanted all along. Don't toss the leftovers, don't leave a single scrap. It's the Crusty Boys anthem, now put it on the map.
Turn the dial back, let the memories play. From the blockbuster hits to the VHS grave. Pop culture reflections, a journey in time. Where the 80s and 90s are still in the prime. With Justin at the mic, we're diving deep into horror flicks and the secrets they keep. From the ring to the charts, every legend and star reflect on the icons of who we all are. That's who we all are.
Right, go to yourunpodcast.com. Go and click on all of the shows of the You Run Podcast Network. There's lots of them on there. You're going to find something you're going to like, whether you like TV series, whether you like paranormal, whether you like true crime, whether you like deep dives, whether you like tangents. There is literally something for everyone. All of the members give absolutely everything to their shows. They're all really well produced. They're all great shows. And if you like our show, I can guarantee you're going to like at least 5 of the other shows on there, either in our niche or in other niches. There's lots of horror on there. There's so much. So go to yourunpodcast.com and do that. While you're there, you can also follow links to our Instagram and our other social medias. Instagram at YouRunPodcast is where you get to vote on the movies and you get to decide what turns up on this show every single week. We literally go, there's a poll, pick a movie. And this week we went one step further and went, pick the movies. And everyone picked the movies. We went, right, there's your movies, there's your poll. We never did that. We did. We'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
We're never doing that again either. Like
No,
some of the
there was
shit,
some horrendous stuff in that.
some of the shit that went in that poll, I was like, what is what? There's something about to Google. I was like, what even is this movie? And I'm Googling it like, oh mate, no, that can't win.
Yeah, I don't usually get involved in polls. I try not to sway the votes, but this week I kind of felt I needed to try and at least guide a little bit. I was voting quite heavily on multiple accounts to try and shift it in some sort of direction because the shit show you guys introduced there was horrendous.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Also, there you will find our Patreon link. Now, our Patreon link gives you early access to this episode. So this episode comes out the previous Thursday as opposed to a Tuesday, almost a whole week early. You also get early access to true crime, early access to Voices with the You Run podcast. You also get an additional show, depending on what level you subscribe at. An additional show of this show where we talk about all kind of random stuff. Our one for March, me and Mark are going to be talking all about Patrick Wilson as picked by one of our.
How are we going to talk about Patrick Wilson for a long period of time?
We talk about The Conjuring, we talk about Insidious, we say he's hot to please the Patreon that picked it, and then we move on and we talk about something else.
I feel like I'm just going to spend that entire episode just calling out the person who's picked that.
It may very well happen. But you also get that, and you also get an additional show of true crime where we dive into all sorts of weird and wonderful things. The March episode of that is me and Mark are diving in. Me and Heather are diving into, who is it? The dildo killer. What's his name?
I always call him Ray Parker Jr., but I think that's the dude who sings the Ghostbusters theme.
It's the toy box killer, isn't it?
Toy box killer, yeah, it's rough. It's really, really rough. I remember the reason I picked it, I don't focus too heavily on true crime myself, but it's one of those things where when I go on holiday, I like to take a true crime book because I just find them really easy, sort of dive in and out kind of books. If I take a novel, it's like I took Red Dragon with me a couple of holidays ago, and like I just spent the entirety of the time reading, just not fucking talking to anyone, just sat at the bar reading. I got proper into the book. So I like to take true crime books because I can just flick a couple of chapters, put it down, and not bother too much. And it was a completely random pickup in W.H. Smith one day. I had no idea of the context, no idea what he was doing or what he was in for. Picked up the book about him. It ruined me for weeks. It was some of the darkest and most disturbing shit that I've ever read on paper, and I was like, fuck. And I've been asking you guys on True Crime to do it for quite a long period of time. It was one of those ones where he was like, yeah, we'll do it when you come on and do the episode with us. But yeah, I just picked it this month because I thought it'd be interesting to get your guys' take on some of the heinous crimes that were committed in that, because I know you cover a lot of dark stuff.
Yeah,
this is like the sleaziest of the dark stuff that I've ever encountered personally.
yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. I started doing a little bit of investigation into it today and started reading up on it, and yeah, it's not nice. But again, that's exclusive on Patreon. Also, if you can help us out by leaving us a review anywhere you can on Apple or Spotify, or sharing a video, or liking a video, or leaving a comment on Spotify or YouTube, that really helps us out as well.
Yeah.
That is it for this advertising moment. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to this advert. It's been greatly appreciated. Now go and do all the shit we've asked you to do, and our show will grow massively.
Who needs a knife? I'm already under your skin.
Let's start with this cold open. This cold open is fucking phenomenal. And the fact he was called Scott, sat in the cinema with Lisa, and Lisa's gone, it fucking would be you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
She's like, he's taking photos. Oh, look at this. It's so cool. She said, it's like watching you when we watch a movie. You're like, oh, and in this bit's really cool because this happened. She said, I feel so bad for his missus. I was like,
yeah, but the thing is, Lisa would be her because she would go along with it just to make you happy, even though she's having the worst time of her life.
Yeah, and I like that dynamic because I love the fact that like it's the Airbnb and the fact they get the phone call. The phone call was funny.
Yeah.
And again,
the original one from like the hotel owners and stuff.
Yeah, and like the level of his analness is like, that's you and me. Well, actually, no, that's a trick question because this, and this, and that happened in this. But I love that.
Yeah, but again, this was one of my first gripes about this entire movie. This was one of those. Obviously, it's a callback to the original, okay? Which this movie does nothing but hammer that home throughout. That's when I was talking about my early roundup. That's where my eye rolls come from. Is how much they hammer home the first movie throughout this film. Yeah, and it just doesn't work for me, like in that sense. It's like we're not that stupid, you know what I mean? Like these scenes where they're there in the kitchen and she's playing with the rubber knife and she's in the same pose that Drew Barrymore was from the kitchen from the original, and I'm like, there's ways to do things when you're delivering Easter eggs in a movie like this. And for me, this was just one of them where I was like, this isn't fan service. This is just need of attention. Do you know what I mean? Need of people to be like, oh, they did this one scene, and they like it doesn't need to be so glaringly obvious for people to pick up on it and think it's really cool and appreciate it. It needs to be subtly done. And for me, I don't feel like this movie has any subtlety whatsoever. And I'm not taking anything away from this cold open because I love it, but this is just one of the instances that really started to grind on me early doors. I was like, oh, please don't do this all the way through. You know, there
is a lot of, hey, look at this cool thing we done. Look how cool it is. Look, do you remember what movie this is? It's like that a lot.
And I don't appreciate it when it's shoved down my throat like that. You know, I like to be a fan who discovers it and be like, oh, that was really, really cool. You know, oh, did you see that? Did you pick up on that thing that they did there in that particular scene? Because that provides conversation between fans and like-minded folk. But when it's so glaringly obvious, there's no conversation to be had because it's presented in such a way. They might have put an arrow on the screen and said, hey, we're replicating this scene. Just check it out just in case you missed it.
Do you remember like pop-up video when you watch music videos of the 90s? Just a little box pop up and go with an arrow going,
yeah,
this is reference to Scream 1996 when Drew Barrymore played with the knives.
Exactly. And it was very much like that. And I was like, oh no. And it got very repetitive throughout, man, in this movie. It did it so much to the point where I was like, please, like, you're embarrassing yourself now. Just stop.
Yeah, I love the animatronic. I thought the animatronic was a nice little touch. Amazing.
Love that.
Yeah, and when it's not the animatronic anymore, like the level of brutality here is great. I'm going to question it a lot throughout this movie. Ghostface's ridiculous Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees level strength. he slowly stabs a knife into his skull. And I went,
he is very
"What the
Michael
fuck?"
Myers in this movie. That's one thing that I do like a little bit about this is he is very Myers-esque in terms of his coming forth from the shadows. Like that's
Yeah.
not a Ghostface trick. It's never been a Ghostface thing in the movies, but it's done heavily throughout this movie a lot. And I'm going to refer to Halloween 2018 probably quite a lot in this review because it's a movie that does what this film tried to do, but a million times better than Scream 7 could ever try to achieve. But I do like the way that they try to do the whole coming from the shadows thing. And again, with this cold open, I'm going to be honest with you, it was executed brilliantly. Like the tension, I felt the tension, and it's been a lot of years since I've watched a Scream movie where I've actually been second guessing what's coming from different elements of the screen. And I think that was heavily implemented because of the use of the motion detected robot. There were times where I'm so heavily focused on it and like, but then the camera does a wide pan back shot where there is so much scenery on display that you're like checking every single corner of the screen, waiting for something to happen. And I just thought that was really masterfully done. And that's one thing I want to give Kevin Williams a really big round of applause from. And I was so hyped by this point because I was like, yes, if this is what we're in for, and this movie is going to be like this all the way through, this is going to be fucking epic.
I was the same. So the end to this, where he's finished off Scott, he's brutally stabbed the girl who fell down on top, and then he didn't finish her off. I was expecting for the slash across the screen as he slit her throat, but he doesn't. He goes and gets a can of petrol and pours it all over the house and her and lights it on fire. Him walking out as the fucking house is erupting in flames. I was like, this is the best Ghostface entrance ever. Like fucking burn. And let's be honest, this symbolizes burning down everything that come before, start again. I get it. It was clever, but I like.
Yeah, but it would be like so that would be if they didn't then go on to spend the rest of the movie focusing on everything that's come before it.
Exactly that. If they'd have taken this in a completely different direction, it would have been completely
so symbolic, and it would have been a really impactful moment in the movie franchise where you'd have been like, yeah, that cold open is cool. It's basically highlights everything. I would have forgiven all its sins with it heavily focusing on all its callbacks to the original movies and stuff like that. I'd have been like, yeah, but it's done with purpose because it's showing you it's a highlights reel, and now we're just burning it all to the ground and we're starting again with something fresh with a different direction. But it's not, do you know what I mean? It's not, it's just a continuous callback throughout. And I think that's a really big missed opportunity given the epicness of what this cold open actually was.
Do you know, I think if it was me, given all the things that had happened in the lead up to this movie, my opening kill would have been Sidney Prescott and her family.
Yeah, and I feel like if you'd have done it in a way where you could have made enough footage from it to compact a trailer that makes it look so widespread across a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
That all you did with your trailer was took snippets from the opening sequence, and everything else after that was a mystery.
Yeah.
It would have been brilliant, you know, marketing 101, but again, they don't. They just show us everything in the movie, in the trailer, to the point where I knew who died and when they died throughout this film.
Especially in this opening sequence. Like this opening sequence, the trailer is an edited version of this. And I wish they hadn't. I wish they'd picked other bits of the movie and done that, because this is great, but would have had so much more impact if I hadn't seen it already.
Yeah, agreed. And again, that's what's annoying about it, is because we're both sat here now talking about how epic it is, but we've already seen it in the trailer. Imagine had we not seen it and we'd watched this for the first time with fresh eyes. It would have been I would have probably ranked it, and I say this with a very heavy heart because you know how much I love the opening sequence to the original Scream movie with Drew Barrymore. That is like chef's kiss for me. However, I would have been tempted to say this was better.
Yeah, I would as well. It's so good. And I really like the shift in tone from here as well. So you get, boom, Scream 7 title card. And then we go off to meet Sydney and her new family. And it's very much Laurie Strode and her grandchild kind of vibe of, you can't have friends. You can't go out. No, do you not know the danger you're in? It's that kind of level, but
Yeah.
they do it in a way that the dad tempers it down a lot. Like I really like,
Joel McHale.
yeah, I really like him. The bits where
Well,
Sydney's being an arsehole and she's like, "Oh, can you believe her?" And he's like,
this one's
"That's on
on
you.
you.
That's on you."
He said it. I was like, "Oh, you fucking brave man! I don't care if you're the sheriff of this town. That was brave."
Yeah, like, let's be honest, not many husbands do that. Most husbands go, "Yeah, she's really hard work, isn't she?"
Oh, no, you just stay out of it. You just stay out of it because no matter what you do or what you say, it then immediately becomes your fault.
Yeah, it does. I also like how they wrote out the younger kids. That was clever. They're having renovation works done. They've gone to stay with grandparents. That takes out having young kids running around. And honestly, I've never been a fan of seeing young kids being chased by a slasher, and I don't
No.
think I needed it. And I appreciate the fact they went, "Ah, look, she's got a couple of young kids. We know this from Scream 5. Let's just take them out of the equation and make that problem go away." And that worked for me. Tatum also works for me. I think Tatum is great. She's
Yeah,
the right
best
level.
character in the movie.
Yeah, she's the right level of teenage angst and a bit of a bitch, but also still very much in like part of like loving her family. She's very much like Sidney Prescott's character from the original movie.
Well, she's identical to Andy Matijak's character from the Halloween reboots. You know what I mean? Like, I love Andy's character in those. I can't for the life of me remember what her name is now, but she's very much the key pushing point of you're going to be the new final girl in these movies. And I think Tatum very much lives up to that. And I like the way that she starts off as this very well protected bunny rabbit, you know, and Sydney learns from her mistakes throughout, being like, I've completely gone about this the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like they're similar to what you get in Halloween 2018, where like Laurie Strode's character pushed that so heavily with her daughter to the point where she revolted, to the point where you then have Andy's character, who is so then much more aware of how the conflict flows between the two of them. You get a little nice balance between Sydney and Tatum in this movie. And again, the callback to her being called Tatum comes full circle at the end, and that's a really nice touch.
Yeah.
This movie is infuriating because there's so many good things about it. It's just executed so badly.
Yeah, it really is. Like, there's some things in here that I think are really good. There's some things that are really bad. We're going to talk about two things that are really bad back to back. We get a bit of Sydney working in a coffee shop, and we get the guy Carl Gibbs coming. Like, if he had been a red herring, I'd have swallowed this, but he's not. He's actually one of the killers, and he orders a coffee. She gives him the coffee, and he does the longest, most angry stare for about 10 seconds on screen, and it's almost like they're going, "Look, it's the killer."
See, the thing is about this, like, there is such a simple way to execute this perfectly. And all it takes is the cold open is on the news. And
Yeah.
you have a signifying moment of Sydney behind the counter in the coffee shop, of seeing the news on the telly in the coffee shop, and then she does a scan around the room and she looks at everybody with paranoia, and you can see it all coming back to her. You know, as
Yeah.
she's looking at individuals around the room, and he just so happens to be staring longingly at her while she's making this scan, and you just put it down to her trauma. You know what I mean? And it's just dealt with there and then. And then when he does reappear later on, you're like, oh shit, that was the guy from the coffee shop. But at this point now, you're just like, all right, we'll see you at the end of the movie.
We'll see you in a minute when Gail Weathers runs you over.
Well, yeah, I didn't see that coming, I'll be honest with you, but I did immediately be like, yeah, okay, right, there's one of them.
And the next scene that comes straight after this is Billy Loomis, Gen Z Billy Loomis, climbing through the window, saying the exact same lines that Billy Loomis said.
Eye roll, big eye roll. Why? And again, it makes no sense, right? Because I'm not being funny, but if you were Tatum and you knew the fucking trauma your mother has dealt with throughout her entire life trying to escape this shit, your newfound booty call comes in and starts quoting the original killer as a way of flirtatiously coming on to you, you'd be like, dude, that's fucking sick. Do you not know what my family's been through because of that shit?
Exactly. I do like how Sydney shuts all this shit down. She opens the
Yeah.
door and it like, fell off the bed. She's like, yeah, hi, Ben. And he like pops up. She's like, yeah, it's time for you to go now. And Tatum's like, well, he's here now. Well, that's nice, but he's going now. And then she takes him down. He's like, I'm a really nice boy, Mrs. Evans. And she's like, yeah, good night. And just like,
Yeah.
she's like I no time for this shit whatsoever. You need to leave. And I really like that's a proper parent behavior.
Yeah. It weren't even like trauma, bitch. It was just that is parenting.
Yeah, it's just like that's just how you deal with a boy climbing through your. That's not how I would deal with it, but that's how.
No, exactly not how I would deal with it either.
That's how
And
Lisa
again,
would deal
Mark in bed. I'm like, dude, you're the sheriff of this town. You know this dude's just climbed through your daughter's window. Where is your gun?
Yeah, he's pretty relaxed. I think because Sydney is so on Tatum's case, I think he's very much like, I'm just gonna play good cop. Like I could go in there, I could pull a gun on him, I could probably give him a slap, drag him down the stairs, but I don't need to because what my wife is going to do to him is so much more degrading. So I'll just let her get on with it.
I was really skeptical about his character going in, knowing that he had been cast, given his comedic background and all the rest of it. I was like, oh, he's going to be such a weak character in this. And then again, when the trailer shows us that he dies in the garage, I was like, oh, well, he's not around for the long stay. But I really think he had some of the best character developments in the movie alongside Tatum, like you mentioned earlier on. I think the two of those were my preferred sort of sub storyline throughout this film.
Yeah, after this, we get our first Ghostface call to Sydney. The phone's ringing, and she hits record, and she's giving Ghostface the level of abuse she's given him in 3 and 4 and all the others, where she's hardened to it now. She had so many people prank her. She's like, oh, just another person hiding behind a voice. He's like, no, I'm not hiding this time, and fucking FaceTimes her, and it's Stu Marker, Matthew. Why did they announce him? Why did they say that Matthew Lillard was in this movie?
No idea.
That moment when he'd gone, I'm not hiding anymore, and a scarred Stu pops up on the screen outside her school with no knowledge that Matthew Lillard is in this movie, the fandom would have lost their fucking mind.
Yep, 100%. It is one of the biggest jaw-dropping wasted opportunities that I've seen in marketing in my life. You know what I mean? Because he's not a mainstay character enough to justify putting his name on the poster.
No, and just by not telling us that, just don't tell us he's in it, and then that happens, like everyone's mind would just gone. It's the same level as when they told us that the movie Abigail, they told us that the little girl was a vampire. Again,
Is she not? Oh yeah, sorry, she is. Yeah. Obviously, right,
But they told us in the trailer, like, don't tell us, because then we're watching a heist movie, and all of a sudden the little girl starts ripping people's throats out. We're gonna be like, oh fuck, what's happening here? Oh fuck, she's a vampire. But they took that away. They stole the best reveal.
That's the thing. I mean, we spoke about it fucking numerous times on this show now in terms of marketing campaigns and advertising for movies and stuff like that. It's just like they spoil it for the viewers now, to the point where nothing is left to shock. You know what I mean? No. There's no reveals, there's no grand expectations anymore, because we always know what's going to happen going in, because movies are just a condensed slideshow of what they're going to be in the trailers, you know, and it's disappointing, man. It really is. And I think this is probably one of the biggest culprits for it that I've seen in quite some time, you know. And I get that they had to. I know they had to do a lot of fucking damage control to try and get audiences back. But I feel like Kevin Williamson directing was probably enough. And Neve Campbell coming back, you know, I feel like those two would have been enough to warrant the marketing.
Even if you'd had a weak opening weekend, when the news broke that Matthew Lillard was back in it, the cinema would have boomed.
I think so. I think so, definitely. And I don't even feel like it needed that anyway, because it's a fucking Scream movie, you know? And I think no matter what dog shit this franchise churns out, people are going to go and see it in hope of what was once a great time.
Not only that, Scream is the most general audience of general audience movies. It sits up there with The Conjuring for one that people who don't watch horror ever watch Scream.
Yeah.
They go to Scream. Like, it's got that casual fan base that are aware of Ghostface, that are aware of Sidney Prescott. Maybe they saw the last two and were like, oh, well, Sidney wasn't in it very much. And this one would be like, oh, Sydney's back. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I have to go see this. Like, it's always going to make money. And it boggles my mind that they announced all the people they announced.
You see, the problem they've got now, right, is what my biggest takeaway from this whole experience is they've done a similar thing to what the 28 Years Later franchise has just done with itself.
Yeah.
Where they market it as like the return to form. They bring out the first movie, which is very divisive. I like it personally. I thought it was a great movie. I really like 28 Years Later. There's a lot of people who don't. So therefore, because that had such a roaring success, because everybody was excited that it was back, that the sequel that came out, which was better, which they expected everybody to go and see because the first movie was so successful. However, everybody was soured by this, that they didn't go and then see that, which was even better. And they've done that with the Scream movie because now everybody has gone to see this with high expectations.
Yeah.
And most of the people I've spoken to have walked away with such disappointment that they're going to commission an 8th movie due to the financial success of this film.
Yeah. And it's going to flop.
It's going to flop, regardless of whether it's better or worse than Scream 7. It's going to flop because people are going to walk away with a sour taste of, I'm not paying 20 quid to go to the cinema when Scream 7 was such a disappointment. So it doesn't matter how good Scream 8 is going to be. There is no way it's going to be such a commercial success as what Scream 7 was.
No, it's not. And I need to ask about McKenna Grace. Does McKenna Grace only do bit parts in movies now? Does she not act in full movies no more?
I fucking raged my head off, man. I was so excited she was announced. Same reason I was when she was announced in Five Nights at Freddy's. I love her. I love her in the Ghostbusters movies. I think she's phenomenal. And again, just fucking nothing from her. And it's not even her fault because everything she did when she was on screen was brilliant.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and
Really,
it's
really
just
good.
like, why on earth have you wasted a character like this? And again, I don't know. She's very busy. She's in everything at the moment. She's Pedro Pascaling it to death. And I think maybe it's a scheduling conflict and she maybe only had so many days to allocate to certain things. I don't know. But for me, as much as I love Tatum, I would have quite happily cast her.
Yeah. The thing is, she's great in this. She's great all the way up to her death, and her death is also great. It's one of the most creative kills I've seen in a Scream movie. I like this. Yeah, we did, yeah. But
we didn't. We saw her hanging, and immediately we knew it was her. And then 20 minutes into the movie, when we get to this particular build-up for this scene, I'm like, fuck's sake. Like, why? You know, like, I know she dies now because you give me a screenshot of someone dying hanging in the theater. It's very clearly her because she's wearing the image that she was wearing in the trailer promo. Now I'm annoyed because you're just going to kill off a character I'm excited to see have character development throughout this film.
Yeah, and the thing is, they showed us that, but then they hid the fact that Tatum dresses up like a dog, which I'll be honest, that made me laugh when she come out. She's like, oh yeah, like when Sydney's like, I done a bit of acting, and I go back to Sydney's big musical number in whatever Scream that was. I'm like, oh, she's going to come out in a ball gown. It's going to be very reminiscent of like Sidney Prescott on stage, and she's a full ass dog, and then gets called out for not being energetic enough, and it basically said, your mother had fire and like power and spunk, and I thought you were going to have the same. I'm like, oh, dude, you're an asshole.
Let's talk about him.
He is every single drama teacher that every single person has had at school.
Yeah, but again, using him as a red herring like they do for one scene, like he was a dickhead in this scene, but there was nothing off about him to the point where he had a slight weird fucking, not necessarily obsession, he just knew heavily who her mother was and the shit she'd been through. But then they use him later on when he stood behind the crime scene wall, even though he clearly lives nowhere near the fucking events that are unfolding. But I'm like, why? And I like this dude as well. He's a good actor. I don't know if you've seen What Happens Next, I think it's called. It's a TV show about, it's got Seth Cohen as a rabbi in it. He's a lead guy. And then it's got Kirsten Bell, who's not Jewish. And those two fall in love, but because he's a rabbi, he can only marry a Jewish woman, and it's about them two trying to get their relationship through. It's really, really interesting show, and it's hilariously funny. And he plays Seth Cohen's brother. I'm calling him Seth Cohen, and that's the guy from that's who he plays in the OC, because I can't remember his name. I can't remember the name of the guy now.
I know nothing of what you're talking of, but people who are
listening will. So the guy who Seth Cohen in the OC, I can't remember the actor's name. It's completely lost me. The guy who plays the drama teacher in this plays his brother in this TV show that I really like. And he's really cool in that. Like, he's really, really funny. He eats edibles, and he's full Jew, but just like eats a lot of edibles, and he's like the dropout version of his super high profile rabbi brother. And he's brilliant in it. And he was just so overly dramatic in this movie because it was a forced red herring, which is what the initial point of my conversation here is. He's a forced red herring. To the point where I'm like, you're making yourself look bad as an actor because they're making you do things that are so unbelievably bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is that, like, all of this stuff that we've seen, the stupidness with Tatum as the dog, like all of that, like I can buy into, but it doesn't quite work. And then they follow it with something that's cool as shit, where Sidney she has obviously got the call from Stu Marker. She's gone to the school. She bursts in just after McKenna Grace has been gutted on the stage. And she literally stands there, pulls a gun and goes like this. And it is the coolest shit, because there's a moment like Ghostface's mask has no expressions, but I know when he looked at her and done that quick turn, he sort of went, "Oh fuck. It's Sidney Prescott. She's got a gun. She's killed loads of Ghostface." And he literally runs as she fucking fires at him across the stage. Really cool. I loved it.
But again, it's the same thing I had issue with in the end of Stranger Things finale, where Callie could have killed Vecna instantly, but she had to take that moment to have her one-liner before she did, giving Vecna the opportunity to escape. And again, Sidney Prescott does it here. If she'd have just walked in and not said a word and just opened, Ghostface would have been dead instantly. But she was like, excuse me, Mr. Ghostface, now you die, bitch.
Yeah, she literally walked in and went, "I'm Sidney fucking Prescott." And Ghostface went, "Oh no, you've killed lots of us. I've got to go." It is silly. And the thing is, again, like they follow this with the scene in the house where the police go in and search the house. Really cool. They come out and say it's clear. And then you see Ghostface drop from the loft. I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool.
Really cool. I love this scene.
He's this Ghostface in the home invasion is amazing. Like, he has a proper fight. Like, the dad again is like, "No, this shit's not happening in my house," and like proper gives it some.
Ends up badass as fuck in this scene.
Ends up booted down the stairs. Sidney and Tatum getting in again, wasted in the trailer. We're not going to keep saying it. They get in the panic room and then get in the walls. Like, this whole scene, brilliant. I didn't need to see it beforehand. I love the fact that like Ghostface is stabbing things through the wall, and then Sidney bends his knife so he can't get his knife out. Like, all of this is great. It's so good. And they do such a good job of making it tense and scary. And then they fuck it up as Ghostface runs away from the house and he gets mowed down by GTA Gale Weathers.
Before we get there, I just want to talk about this particular scene. And it's something that fucking infuriates me in a lot of slasher movies, but no movie in history has highlighted it as much as this particular scene in Scream 7. And that is, so Tatum, Sidney, Mark, this is before they even get into the walls. They have this big three-way fight where they're like fucking batting Ghostface between one another. Mark even has him in a headlock at one point. Not at any point in this scuffle. Bearing in mind, they're grabbing his head, they're grabbing his mask. No one pulls his mask off.
Nope, never do it.
It's like mind-blowing to me that they do it, and they do it so much in this movie to the point where I'm like, you would take the mask off. Never mind shoot him in the head, pull the mask off, you know? And it's like this whole Scooby-Doo thing to the point where it's just become satire now. And it's like, there is so many opportunities. And to the point where they were having this three-way fight, I'm like, I'm surprised his mask is still on his face at this point.
Yeah, I've said it loads of times. If a masked assailant come into my home, whether it's a Ghostface mask, whatever mask it is, the first thing I'm going to do is twist the mask because it's got eye holes. I'm going to turn the mask. You can't see me now. I'm not going to beat you to death.
Like, there's just so many instances in that particularly choreographed fight sequence that I'm like, no, like, no, like, that mask is not staying on his face. How is he? Mark's just grabbed him in a headlock and at not any point just gone like that and just pulled the mask. I'm like, it's just fucking stupid, man. And I guess you have to bend a little bit of what is believable and what is not believable when it comes to a movie like this, because especially when it comes down to the reveals and the justification of certain kills throughout the movie of, well, there's no way you could have executed that person the way you executed that person. And again, even Wes Craven himself has said in the past, I can't remember which movie it was on the behind the scenes documentary, where he says, like, when Ghostface is in the mask and he is the identity of Ghostface and he's played by the stuntman, that is an entity within itself. And the reveal who played that character throughout the movie should never be brought into question. And I get that, you know what I mean? I get that and I can do that. But I think this far into the franchise now, when you have such kills like you do, and I'm going to bring up Dewey's kill for a prime example, that we were supposed to be expected to believe that it was little Mickey, little Amber, who executed the greatest legacy character in the entire franchise the way she did, like she was playing fucking Mortal Kombat in real life. I'm like, I don't buy it, you know what I mean? Like, I can suspend disbelief for a certain period of time, but stuff like that at this point, I'm just like, no. And this is one of those sequences where I was like, nah, man, I'm tapping out on this because this is just not believable in any way to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. And from here, this is where the writers gave up, in my opinion. From here on out, it becomes full-ass Scooby-Doo. Sid Gale going, oh, we need to investigate. Sidney's like, no, I don't do that anymore. I have a family. She's like, but we need to investigate. She's like, oh, yeah. Well, that one person mentioned the mental institute. Let's start there. And I'm like, oh.
But even before that whole fucking diabolical conversation between the two of them reuniting and saying how heavily she was missed in Scream 6. Oh, yeah, just in case we weren't aware, Sidney wasn't in Scream 6. The actual kill of fucking Keith, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And the reveal.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yeah. And then the dialogue that accompanies it from the fucking most infuriatingly annoying characters of the twins.
Chindy, Chad and Mindy. Why are they here? Why are they even here?
I like Chad and Mindy in Scream 5 and 6. Very funny characters. Very cool. Yep. They have no place in this movie. They did not know what to do with them. They wrote them in here and they give them the worst personas I've ever seen. Mindy is a fucking dickhead. That's
so is
all
Chad.
Chad, I don't mind. But his bulletproof vest armor that he wears throughout this franchise is really beginning to grate on me. To the point where I can digest it from the 5th movie. I can kind of get him surviving in the 6th movie, but this dude is walking around like a fucking basketball player that's never been touched by a punch. And I'm like, no, dude, you've been stabbed at least 14 times to my count by the time we're going into Scream 7, and you're not even flinching.
It was 26 times in Scream 6 alone.
What the fuck, man? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just stupid. And he's walking around all fucking super cool, like he hasn't spent 5 years in rehabilitation learning to walk again. Yeah. You know, it just makes no sense to me. I don't like either of them in this movie, and every time they're on screen, it is the most annoying thing ever. The dialogue is shocking. Like, I don't get what the writers were trying to do with this movie.
The writers don't. From here on out, the writers don't know what they're doing with this movie. And I think it's more out of, from this point on, they're trying to make everything work together when they didn't have a cohesive script. They didn't have a cohesive pathway to get to their ending. And
Right, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I don't claim to be a writer. But fuck me. Fuck me, man. You have had a year, 2 years to write a script. We're not talking Scorsese level movie making here. We're talking about the Scream franchise. We're talking about a 90s A to B slasher movie. And they look like they've thrown this shit together over a weekend.
The worst bit for this for me is that Gail and Sidney go off and do their investigation, and they meet I don't know what he is, the orderly at the psychiatric unit who identifies Stu Marker from a photo, goes, oh yeah, that's a John Doe. He was down in the room next to the guy that you just run over. They were really, really close.
Again, we'll see you at the end, mister. Thanks for just lying to the camera and telling us, because at this point, we already know that Stu's AI.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, we'll talk about it at the end, but they could have really done a so much better ending. But while this is happening, we get this stupid fucking scene where Tatum sneaks out with her boyfriend and they all go to the bar with Mindy and Chad, and like they gather all the suspects, and Mindy does her, we're not doing rules in this movie because we've done that in all the others. And also, I normally get it wrong, but I think it's you, weird kid.
I love Weird Kid, by the way. He's a great actor.
Yeah, probably one of the most memorable of this friend group, him and McKenna Grace. Like no one else, not even the boyfriend, is particularly memorable.
No.
And like again, like Sidney gets a call from AI Stu going, oh yeah, I'm at the bar, your kids are there. And she does like the frantic fucking, oh shit, I need to get there. What is going on with this Ghostface? Like, who is the Ghostface in this bar? Because this kill is super.
I did the math.
It's not there is no way Jessica fully lifts a fully grown ass man onto a beer tap with one hand. It's not possible.
No, it's not. And again, that's kind of what I was referencing earlier when I was talking about Dewey's kill. Like, you kind of just have to ignore the fact that the reveal is anything to do with the stunt guy who's playing Ghostface throughout the movie, because they never ever marry up. But I did do the math. It is Jessica in this instance, because later on, while she's dealing with the coffee shop kill, he gets shot. He gets shot multiple times, and that can't be Jessica at that time, because he's the one who comes in after as like a quick switcheroo kind of thing.
Right, okay.
So it has to be him, and I know it's him because later on, hit the end of the opening fucking thing where they do the unmasking, he's wearing the bulletproof vest and he has the whole, you should have shot me in the head. So it has to have been him in the cafe, which means it has to have been Jessica who did the bar kill. And yeah, it was just stupid. One thing that I thought was really, really cool about this particular sequence was creepy weirdo kid. He goes in and he's like, I got this, I'm going to save you.
Yeah.
And he runs in and then immediately comes out bleeding from the chest. And I was like, oh, they're going to do the Billy Loomis thing. And it's like, mama's maple syrup, you know, because you don't see him die. And the way he heroically went in, I was like, that's the opportunity for him to go in and get all the blood shit put on him and come back out and be the ultimate red herring. He wasn't, unfortunately.
No.
And again, like, I'm kind of glad he wasn't, because again, it was on the nose and obvious. But then I think it was because it was so obvious that even the writers didn't pick up on it in this movie, where they could have used it for that opportunity.
And in truth, would have been better than what we got. And also the girl who dies in the bar, I quite liked her kill, where Ghostface slings her across the bar, drops her, is like, oh, fuck, I killed her. Like, I didn't even get to stab her. She died on a glass. Damn it. I wanted to stab
and I think that's why he's so brutal with the boy. But then you find out it was actually her son, which was very maniacal when you realize that she killed her own son in the way she did. But again, in this instance, like Chad and Mindy, like Chad gets stabbed in the chest. Mindy gets her fucking body sliced open to the point where she's holding her intestines in. Yeah. And when Chad, Mindy, and Gail, which, by the way, we mentioned Chad, Mindy, and Gail here because this is the last time we see Chad, Mindy, and Gail, when she gets abandoned at the news article thing, that's the last time we see her. None of these characters are involved in the last act of the movie. However, they all turn up at the end. Gail, fair enough, she's not been involved in the conflict, so she's absolutely fine. But Chad and Mindy, have just been sliced and diced, and they have literally, it's as if they've just stepped out of the car and nothing's happened.
Yeah, they're absolutely fine. Like, let's talk about the interview because I think the interview is fucking stupid.
Mhm.
It's a nod to yes, Gail always wanted it, but their reasoning for it is, oh, maybe it will lure him out of the shadows. Fuck off! Like it's
No,
just
you see,
it's
that's the thing. I like that side of it. I like the antagonization of getting him to call in. They're giving him a platform for a wider audience, and I get that. That's cool. But the direction that girl takes the interview in
it's just wild. I'd
is
have punched
fucking
her.
stupid. It's
And
fucking stupid. Like they've made out like these two are an investigative team and they're the best of friends and they're going to work through this together. And Sydney's like, I should have been there for you in New York. And oh yeah, no, we're bros. It's cool, man. We got each other's back. And then Gail just like, yeah, I'm a fucking reporter bitch like I was in the first movie. And I'm like, hang about a minute. Like Gail's clearly Sydney's clearly about to walk away. You're supposed to be stringing this out as like a fishing line.
yeah,
And you're just being a dickhead for the sake of what? 30 seconds worth of conversation?
the thing is that they do that and then they don't capitalize on it and give Gail another punch in the mouth. How did Sydney not just lean over and just lamp her again? Like that would have been a better callback than any of the other callbacks if she'd just gone, do you know what? I'm done. Walked off. And as Gail come off to go, look, I'm sorry, I took that a bit far. As she says that, just have Sydney flatten her again. Because let's be
I think,
honest.
in fairness, that's probably due to a contract within Courtney Cox's contract, purely based on the fact that she is now 90% plastic now, that any impact to the face would have caused severe damage. Like, what has she done to herself, man? Like, I don't like to shame anybody, especially females who are aging. You know, I think it's you do you. But she is looking more and more Pete Burns on fucking Ozempic injections every single day. And it worries me, like, to the point where we're going to read a news article one day of she's been found in a fucking hot tub dead because she hasn't eaten for a year.
Yeah, she's bless her, she's not looking great.
But the
She's
thing is,
really
as well,
not.
what's so strange about this movie, that they light her like Morticia Adams.
They do
Of
the
the
light
Addams
across
family.
the eyes. Yeah,
to sort of like to hide any sort of like aging sort of. It's weird, mate. It's fucking weird. And I don't understand how, as an actress, you can have such power within your control and your role within a movie where you're like, I need to proof check how I look on every single scene in this movie.
yeah, she's not looking great. This whole scene for me just didn't work, and the fact that Ghostface didn't take the opportunity and instead done it when they went off the air after their argument. Again, missed opportunity. Like put Ghostface on the air, let him talk to the people. That would have been better and more investable. Have loads of people watching it. Cut to people in their houses go, fuck me, Ghostface is on the telly. Fuck me, it's Stu Marker. I can see it. Like, make it a thing. Don't just do it and then bottle doing it. And
so that brings me to my next point. Okay, so people, actual people, like actual real world people. Where the fuck are they? I understand there is a curfew in this town. All right. I can understand curfews, but that doesn't mean people going to sleep mode when there is a curfew in place. Like, there is nobody in this town other than the people who are actually stars in this movie. They're
I
running
hear
through town
you've got
centers.
quite a scream.
They're running through towns. Businesses are closed. Houses are not occupied. This is like something from the end of The Hills of Eyes, where they're in that fucking nuke town to the point where nothing exists within the vicinity apart from the core characters of the movie. And it's so unbelievable.
yeah, it is. Also unbelievable bit is with Ben, where Ben sat with Tatum and she opens his laptop and it's a fake Stu Marker. He's like using I was like, oh, why'd you do that? Like, there's no need for that.
Excuse me.
Gay.
I'm glad
That was not what I was trying to
noticed.
say. That was not the red herring that it was supposed to be. That's what I was trying to say earlier. When they force these things upon people as stupid red herrings that were supposed to be like impactful and mean something, but then are instantly dismissed.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. And it's like, as soon as it happened, I was like, nah.
No,
I would have fell for that if that was the only one within the movie.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that we've had this happen 4 times already up until this point, makes me immediately believe that this is fake.
Yeah, it did lead to a really cool scene though, where she runs off, she goes into the town, ends up at her mum's coffee shop. Like, I'll be honest, I wasn't really invested in the whole Sydney talking to Tatum and talking her through shoot through the wall, like, because I saw it in the trailer. Like, again, it was spoiled for me. I wasn't invested when she come out and Ghostface sat up again because I saw it in the trailer. But fuck me, the bit where she puts Ghostface down and she goes to walk out the door, and as she gets to the door, another Ghostface walked in. I was like, oh fuck, you're fucked. Like, that was great. And if they'd not shown me any of that segment, that whole set piece of her mum guiding her to shoot through the wall, shoot him in the head, oh fuck, you haven't running into the other, that whole segment would have been one of the best set pieces in this franchise. But again,
it was
trailer.
cool though. It was cool. Like, if you take it away from what it actually was, and again, I think this is more down to Kevin Williamson's directing than anything else. He knows how to frame and shoot a particular scene like this. You know, all the highlights I have for this movie are action set pieces. The cold open, the bit in the wall segment, the bar scene for the vast majority of it, the choreographed fight scene with Mark, Sidney, and Tatum in the hallway, you know. And again, this particular scene where they're battling and she's on the security camera footage. Again, I don't particularly know. I know she lost a slight bit of service as she stepped forward, forcing her not to be there in immediate attention. Plot's got a plot. As a parent, fuck that shit. I would be Linford Christieing all the way to the fucking coffee shop.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that stuff like this is so impactful is because Kevin Williamson is genuinely a good director, which is something I was really shocked by. You know, we've all known him as a writer for the most part. And seeing him have the opportunity, especially within the Scream franchise, and that's one thing I don't want to take away from this review, is he earned his right to have the opportunity to direct a movie within this franchise. And definitely. I think he personally did an exceptional job. My biggest grievance is the fact that they didn't stretch the release date on this longer to give him opportunity to write the script as well before he directed it.
Yeah.
I lost where I was, but that's my free Kevin Williams speech.
Well, we are now at the point where they've kidnapped Tatum. They take her back to Sydney's house, and they do. Sydney walks in, and we get all the AI avatars on the screen. I'm going to say it now. You have got Gale Weathers in this movie. You have Dewey Riley pop up as an AI avatar to give Sydney a bit of shit. But no, why is there not a phone call from FaceTime phone call from Dewey to Gale? That is so much more traumatic as an audience to watch.
Well, at least it would have given her something to do in the movie.
Yeah, why the fuck is Laurie Metcalf here? What? I love Laurie Metcalf, don't get me wrong, but Nancy Loomis, no one's given a fuck about Nancy Loomis since 1997.
I preferred her to Roman, I'll be honest with you, when she came up.
When Roman's like, hi sis, I was like, fuck off, Roman. No one liked you when you were here the first time.
You were the worst of the worst in this franchise.
He does have the highest kill count of any Ghostface, though.
I think I read that they asked Amber, the actress who played Amber, to do a cameo.
And she, no.
Yeah. Nah, fuck that. I'm an Oscar-winning actress now.
Yeah, you can no longer afford me, I'm afraid. Do you remember what you wanted to pay Neve? I need that for the cameo. So no. The reveal, like this whole Ghostface, like the AI avatars popping up on all the different screens was stupid. Who's orchestrating that? How are they switching? Like it's just fucking ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And then we get the reveal. I love the reveal of the dad that he's still alive.
Yes, I like that a lot.
Barely. And I like that he's sat on the floor just with his little knife, just like cutting away at Tatum's bindings. Brilliant.
But again, this is one thing that really annoyed me, is like, how cool was it that Tatum was tied up like the original opening from the Scream movie? Had we not had this hit it over the head stuff throughout, this particular scene would have been so much more impactful, you know? But the fact that we've had it so much up until this point, I was like, I didn't guess it, but subconsciously I kind of was like, oh, all right, okay, that's, of course it's that.
Yeah, and it genuinely, it works. It's good. I like this scene. the reveal, the first Ghostface, as he's like, I was the man at the mental asylum. Did you guess? And I'm like, yeah, kind of nailed
But
you.
again, we had the same reaction that Gail, fucking Chad, and Mindy had. It was like, who the fuck is this dude? Everybody's supposed to know who you are. You've got to have some connection. And you're like, well, we knew it was you, but why is it you? And then all of a sudden, fucking Jessica appears.
Her motive is
I'll be honest with you, right? The speeches that are given and the monologues that are given at the end of the Scream movies are epic. You know,
Yeah.
Laurie Metcalf, Timothy Olyphant's epic. Billy and Stu's epic. Roman, for all his sins, his speech was pretty cool and it went somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
Emma Roberts' speech, pretty good. I'm not a big fan of Scream 5's reveal, the characters and the justification of it.
No.
And I don't like Scream 6's reveal purely based on the fact that it's a fucking massive stretch of vengeance, I'll be honest with you. But even so, the police officer guy who is the dad of the killer of Scream 5, his speech was pretty epic. And then the introduction of his two children, I was like, yeah, this is badass. And then you have the whole fight sequence with 3 Ghostface. Cool as shit. This, I heard something about Pilates, and that's all I can remember.
It was, you inspired me to get out of a rough relationship. It was an abusive relationship, and I got out. I killed him. I done a Sidney. I killed him. And then you went on,
disappeared and weren't in Scream 6, and now I'm pissed and made a Scream 7. Like, what the fuck?
That's basically, she basically went, I'm the angry side of the fan base that was really mad that you weren't in the last movie. So I made a new movie. It's like, oh, fuck. Oh, it's so stupid.
It's ridiculous. And the effort that went into writing this, it must have taken more effort to write something so incoherent than it would have done to make something that made sense.
Yeah, like I don't know how, like when they done the table read for this, at no point did someone go, why is she talking about like she done Pilates? I don't get it. Like,
I just don't know how anybody hasn't even questioned it and gone up to Kevin and been like, listen, mate,
this is shit.
This ain't good, this is it. Let's be honest. Like, let's just, but again, like I said before, no, I didn't say before because we haven't spoke about it on this episode. Like I said to you before we started recording, Stu was supposed to be alive. He was supposed to be alive at the end, and in test audiences refused it. They said they didn't like the fact that Stu was alive, and it didn't make sense that he would then come back after all these years.
Who were these test audiences? Because honestly, if they'd have done this shit reveal, we had the epic scene we'll talk about in a minute, and then you get Sidney and Tatum sat on the step of the house going, oh, yeah, we've survived the Ghostface. If it panned back into the back garden, and you just saw Schumacher smile and a couple of ghost faces appear from the shadows behind him, and
not knowing who they were as well. Yeah,
and then just hit the Scream 7 logo, I'd have been like, oh, fuck, I need another one. Like, I need to know now, but they didn't. They just done this stupid
and again,
fucking
I
reveal.
think that was the original intention of where this was going to go, and then therefore the reveal of this being so underwhelming would have made a little bit more sense, but instead they cut that because test audience didn't buy it, but they bought this bullshit.
Who were the test audiences? They need to be named and shamed and like paraded on social media for people to just point.
I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those people where we spoke about this for fucking years now with all the bullshit you've done with Schumacher Lives all that. Like, I'm one of those people where I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not buying it. But we're that far into the franchise now where it's kind of like Ghostface is maybe 1 or 2 movies away from being in space. You know what I mean? So like for me, I don't mind him coming back at this point.
And the thing is, they've done all the groundwork. They teed everything up to do it in this movie. Like, they've done the AI bit, but you make that AI now a fake out and he is actually alive. And these other 2 ghost faces were working for him, and he knew they were going to die. They knew they were going to die, and they're sacrificing for the cause of the cult of Ghostface.
Like a fucking Charles Manson thing, you know?
Yeah, like that's fucking awesome. There are some really cool bits in the end of this movie, like Tatum fighting with her mum, like both fighting free.
The dialogue in it between the two of them is fucking cringy, man.
The dialogue where she goes, "Let's be honest, Sid, as a final girl, you're past your prime." I laughed. And then when Sydney shot her, I went, "Past my prime, fucking bitch." I was like, "Oh, didn't need that bit.
No,
Didn't need it."
Sydney's better than that. Sydney is better than that as a character. And I think that's one thing that annoyed me the most about this movie is Sydney as always being the most grounded of final girls throughout horror history, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a big Halloween guy, but I think she's a better final girl than Laurie Strode because she's badass. She's fights. She knows what to do. She's the most instinctive out of any final girl in horror. She's a fighter, you know, and she's well equipped, you know, going against these ghost faces. If a betting man that I was, I would put my money on Sydney 9 times out of 10. But she makes so many foolish mistakes throughout this movie. I'm like, that's not the Sidney Prescott that I know.
Yeah, I'm kind of over this now. Like, Stu is dead. Like, they can't now retcon that and bring him back in 8 because it makes no sense. So what they're going to do with
I
8?
think the franchise is dead. I think the franchise is dead at this point, mate. I think this is the final nail in the coffin. Regardless of how enjoyable this was as a basic slasher, you've now got yourself to a point in the franchise where 5 and 6 were pulling away from the core characters and was going in a genuinely interesting direction. If I had to criticize what those movies were doing, it would be Ghost Billy. I hate that shit. I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But the movies themselves and introducing Sam and her sister, really investable, really cool characters, and a really unique direction while still incorporating the legacy characters as sideline bits. But now they've reverted back to bringing Sydney and Gail as the core characters. This can't go on repeating itself install after install. I don't see how there is another movie that can come out as Scream 8 that will go on without repeating the footsteps we've already seen for the past 30 years, man. It's done now. This has got to be the end of Scream because I can't take another movie of Sydney having the same random ghost face appearing and her having to fight it to the point where she's becoming a superhero.
Yeah, the thing is, we've said it before, the only way to salvage the franchise, we said it in 5, was open up with Sidney Prescott being the first kill. We said it in 6, open up by wiping out 90% of the core cast from Scream 5. And I'm going to say it again now. The only way for Scream 8 to work is to make Tatum, the dad, and Sidney Prescott the opening kills of Scream 8 and make it a Gale story. Make it Gale Weathers' story.
I mean, I disagree with that in a slight sense because I've seen this happen in my favorite franchise, which is Halloween, where they killed Jamie Lee Curtis off in the opening segment, and it was the most diabolical thing I think I've witnessed as a fan.
I don't know. I quite like that movie.
I know you'd like that movie, and I'm growing towards it slightly, but I still think the opening kill of Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween Resurrection is just eyeball ripping out of your skull, inducing fury. I'd rather her just not be in the movie at all because she didn't need to be in that movie at all. And the same can be said going forward with Scream 8. You know, let's just start again. It doesn't need to be a remake. It can still exist within the world of Sidney Prescott and Gale Weathers. And you can even show tidbits of Gale getting her job back and being on primetime news. But she doesn't need to be a character within the franchise and within the story that you're trying to tell. You know, Ghostface as an entity can live on because it is no particular person. It can dive into anybody's situation and trauma that they're dealing with at the time. You know, I think we've very much moved away from the meta element of what this franchise is slowly over time, and this movie has done nothing but hammer home that this is not any sort of meta references. And
let's be honest, Scream 7 has become the movie that the original Scream mocked.
This is it. This is exactly my point. This is now a product of its own mockery.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
And I don't see where it can go from here.
No. Well, we'll find out. You'll all find out as well, because when it comes out, we'll probably review it here. I'm going to keep my score as a 3 out of 5. I think there's enough in here but it brings it above average, but only just. Yeah, I'm hoping we get a stronger Scream 8, but I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to.
I'm going to bring mine down. I'm sorry, Kevin, because I know you don't deserve this. Mine's going to go down to a 2 out of 5. I think I like Scream 3 better now.
Wow. We got no voicemails this week because nobody loves us, which is weird. Call us. You can do that on Instagram or X by leaving us an audio DM, or you can record a TikTok and tag us, and that also gets you on the show. We have 3-word reviews. We have quite a few. I'm gonna rapid fire them today because we got memes to make you mad and we've got a game. So on Instagram, Kate, lots of fun. I'll agree with that. It is lots of fun. All bronze, no brains. Everyone calm down. That is the best 3-word review for this franchise. Everyone needs to calm the fuck down.
They do. It's just a movie.
It is. Hey, Internet, Eric here. It was fine. Chaz Presley, I love this one. Easy Wayans marketing. No shit.
Yeah.
Like when this started doing badly, the Wayans brothers must have just been fucking rubbing their hands together, going, our movie's going to make so much fucking money.
The way Marlon went to, he went to the opening night of Scream 7.
Yeah,
because it was a release of the trailer for Scary Movie as well. Also, I don't know if anybody else has picked up on this. I haven't seen anybody online pick up on this. It's been advertised as Scary Movie 6, but the title card only read Scary Movie. I was like, that's cool. Because it's just like a rebranding kind of thing. This is our Scream movie, our Scary Movie. But anyway, he went in and he literally, he fucking basically just bootlegged his own trailer and recorded bits of the trailer and his reaction to it and the audience in the cinema's reaction to it and posted it on his Instagram feed. But then after the trailer had finished, he just got up and fucked off and didn't stay around to watch Scream 7.
Yeah, so good. So good. Nightmare Center went with ending spoiled it. Narcotic Casserole, first bad Scream. Technically it's not. There are some other bad Screams as well.
Definitely not.
Deadbeats, very fucking confusing. Yeah, fucking the decisions made in this movie are fucking atrocious. And randomly Eric, Mark's nemesis, who used 4 words, but I'm going to allow it because it leads perfectly into memes to make you mad. He went with people are whiny bitches. Which leads us wonderfully to the return of memes to make you mad, where I post an image online with the intent of making people angry. This one was kind of unintentional. I just thought it was a fun little jab at the whole community. And it was this, which is fair. It's fucking accurate. Yeah, the level of rage we received, 396 comments.
Wow.
I chose the ones that were not full ass, like use all of the available characters, paragraphs of rage. And
People are so heated these days.
Yeah. To be or not to be movies. People don't have spines and want the same regurgitated garbage over and over again.
People take movies so literally. Like, I get fandoms and I get the love for franchises and stuff, but like to the point where you're this passionate about things, it's like, dude, just go outside of the house and just take in a bit of sunshine and some fresh air. Honestly, you'll feel miles better, I promise you. There
are levels within the Scream fandom that I think are one step away from donning a Ghostface mask and making their own movie. S. Chambers 2003. If you boycott Scream 7, you're not a real fan. You're a fan of Melissa Barrera, not the franchise. I said what I said. He then proceeded to get roasted for 40 comments by other people who strongly and vehemently disagreed with his comment.
I mean, I don't want to get into this.
We're not getting into it.
But what I'm just going to say briefly is, like, movies are bigger than a singular person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you think the fat guy who sat behind a desk eating a cheeseburger, eating all his money. He's nobody. Anybody who made the executive decision to fire Melissa Barrera is not contained to the movies and the franchise themselves. You know, like
No.
this is a movie that's made by creators and artists and makeup designers and sound designers and actors and actresses. This isn't something that can be boycotted and snubbed and hindered because of other people's artistic investment, because of one stupid guy behind a desk decision, you know. And I think that's one thing that always I find infuriating when people are doing stuff like this. And it's like, just fucking educate yourself, man. Just be a little bit more fucking self-aware about the warpath that you're creating and the idiocy that you're portraying and spewing on to other people within the world. Like, this is bigger than just some movie, you know, and people going out and causing chants in the street and arguing with people who genuinely just want to go to the cinema and have a good time, and the cast and crew and all the rest of the people behind the scenes who have invested money and effort to make something for our enjoyment. Let's be honest with you. This is purely based on something that is here for our enjoyment. This is not a fucking political statement. Just fucking have a day off, guys.
I'm going to say something now that a lot of people are not going to like. All of the boycott calls for this movie done nothing more than act as the biggest free advertising campaign for this movie. That's what they done.
Yeah, it's just nuts, man. I don't get it. I don't get why people think doing something like that is going to achieve anything, you know. And it infuriates me seeing it, and it infuriates me seeing people then fall victim to it. And it's like, I'm not going to call Melissa Barrera out.
No,
but she made a statement on her Instagram profile, almost rallying the troops, if you will. And I like Melissa Barrera, and I think she was very poorly done by what she did by her firing, you know. And I think everybody's entitled to free speech. You can say what the fuck you want when you want without ramification.
They made a dig to it in the movie, didn't they?
I didn't pick up on that.
It was Gail Weathers was like, I wasn't fired, I just wasn't rehired, because they never fired Melissa Barrera.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's mad. Right.
But my point is, before we move on, is like Melissa Barrera made a silly little mistake, and she put something on her Instagram profile as if to say, she put "I see you" in reference to people protesting and stuff like that, as if to say like she supports them. And I'm like, that's really, really silly as a person of influence to do something like that. Like, I'm just as infuriated as she probably was that she was fired from her job for saying something that she's very much entitled to say, regardless of what the context of her saying was. But then to almost encourage vigilanteism on a broader scope, if you will. I know it's nothing close to vigilanteism in any stretch or form.
No, but I know what you're saying.
To then like sort of back it in a way as if to say, cheers, guys. I'm like, the best thing you could have done in this situation was just say nothing and pretend like you weren't even fazed by it. But then when she did that, I lost a little bit of respect for her. I was like, no, you didn't need to do that. Like that was just silly on her part. And I hope she realizes that.
Yeah, if I'm honest, the best thing she could have done is wish the movie luck, because that would have pissed
exactly.
them off.
If she'd have just come out as a bigger person and was like, I hope this movie's a roaring success. I loved the time that I spent on the franchise. Best of luck to the cast and crew that I worked with very closely for many years.
Yeah,
because this is much bigger than the people who are actually making the movie. I wish you all the success in the world. I'd have been like, yeah, fair play to you, man. Well done.
Yeah. I agree. Jayhad Tar, there's only one correct side of this fandom. 5 and 6 aren't real fans. Okay. Fake fans versus real fans. Okay.
Again, this divide, man. What are you all doing? We're all the same here, guys. We just want to watch horror movies. Stop being so stupid.
a lot of these new fans hopped on the franchise due to Scream 7, and it's worded like it's a bad thing. What is a bad thing? The Scream fandom got more fans? What the fuck? That's a good thing.
It seems like everybody on the world these days just want to argue.
I've got two more. The first one is some arse in your tea, and they went, Neve is back because of money, not because of a good script. Well, yeah, that's how acting works.
That's kind of a job. That's what a job is.
It is genuinely disappointing to see such a bunch of people act as though this pile of dog shit we were handed was somehow great.
That, again, is a true statement, because it is a pile of dog shit and it was not great.
Yeah, but again, film is subjective. For some people will watch this and God, I love that.
And I wish they do. I wish they do. Honestly, like I said earlier on in my early roundup, my comments are only based on my own opinions and my experience of the movie. You know, I hope there are true diehard Scream fans out there that went in and really enjoyed this movie for what it was. Personally, the franchise has lost its way many, 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 many years ago. So this is just another slasher for me. And at the moment, it's a fucking very bottom of the line slasher at best.
And the last one. Nah, just some hard R word snowflakes who want to boycott. We sane people are just happy that fucker Melissa and Jenna can't ruin this one like they've ruined 5 and 6.
I mean, there's some basis to what he's saying. However, Melissa and Jenna, personally, I thought they were fantastic in Scream 5 and 6. I think the only letdown to those movies is Ghost Billy. And I'll say that until my last dying breath. I like Scream 5 and 6. I thought they were really enjoyable. I just couldn't digest the stupidity of the Ghost Billy inclusion in that franchise.
I agree. So, Mark, do you want to play a game? You have two choices today. We have a quiz. It is a Scream quiz. There are 10 questions. It's all about the Scream franchise. You can either play this normally, where I just ask you the questions and you do it, or you can play it under Meltdown rules and you can enter it as another go at Meltdown. It's entirely up to you.
I'm not a big... Where did I do on Meltdown last time?
The 50-something, 30-something. It was low.
Yeah, of course it was. What were the rules of Meltdown?
You get 10 points for a correct answer. You lose 15 for an incorrect answer.
Oh, yeah. I got fucking shafted by Dave, didn't I?
Yeah. These are all general knowledge. They're all general knowledge Scream ones. 90% of these you'll have a good stab at.
I like the reference.
Stab. What else?
No, go on. Fuck it. I'll put it in the Meltdown section. Come on. I mean, It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter at this point. I'm either going to do well or I'm not. Well, I'd be more annoyed with myself if I did really well in the quiz and I didn't include it.
Well, let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Meltdown. What I earn in one hand, burning from the other. Every ride answer rips another from my cover. I keep winning pieces I can't keep together. Bleed for the scoreboard, lose myself forever. Meltdown! It's time for Meltdown. They start easy, they get harder, as we always do. Who directed the first Scream movie?
Wes Craven.
10 points for you. How many Scream movies are there?
7.
20 points for you. Look at you go. What year was Scream 2 released?
1998.
Oh, no, it was 1997. So you lost 15 points. You're now on 5 points.
What was the original? 96?
96.
I thought there was 2 years. That's why I went bastard. Right, all right.
What was the name of the book written by Gail Weathers?
The Woodsboro Massacres?
Oh, again, so close. You're on minus 5 points. It is the Woodsboro Murders.
Oh, fuck off.
In fact, no, you're on minus 10 points. Sorry, you lost 15 points. Minus 10. Number 5. Who played Cotton Weary?
Lib Schreider.
You're on
I
minus 5.
don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but you can definitely
Yeah.
give me that.
It's Liv Schreiber, yeah. You're on minus 5 points. What was the working title for the first Scream movie?
Scary Movie.
That's correct. You're now on 5 points. You're doing better. You could pull it back if you keep up that momentum. Who are the two killers in the first Stab movie?
Well, it's Billy and Stu, right?
It is Billy and Stu. You're on 15 points. I didn't know if that would throw you.
It did
Curveball.
throw me because I thought it was a trick question, and then I went back and then remembered Scream 2, the Stab movie, is Scream 1.
Yeah, no, you're doing all right. You're on 15 points now. Which Scream movie has the highest box office to date?
Scream 7 currently.
No, not opening weekend, all time.
Fucking hell. I don't know because I don't. This is one thing that always tricks me because I don't know.
So in the global release of the movie in its full theatrical run, which of the movies has the biggest?
How long is considered as a full theatrical run? Like,
Until
does
they
it include like anniversary editions and shit?
No. It's just the initial theater run that's in the cinema. Then they take it out. It's whatever they've made when they take it out.
Scream 1, roaring success. I don't know if it was immediately. I'm inclined to say it's Scream 2. I don't think it was Scream 3. I think Scream 4 bombed, even though that was the best of them. And I would also be tempted to say that Scream 5, as a resurgence, was a good one. But then again, I also know Scream 6 was good. But I know Scream 7 is even better than the rest of them. I think Scream 2 was massive, man. Scream 2 was massive because of how good Scream was. And by that time, people were aware of it and they were ready for another. I think I'm going to go with Scream 2, but I'm not 100% convinced on my final answer.
You are now on 0 points. It was Scream 6. It goes Scream 6, Scream 5, Scream 2.
Yeah. Fail. Again, is that based on inflation? Like, are you talking about if you put them together inflated?
No, that's not inflated. That's just what they've done. Inflation wise, I imagine Scream 2 will probably be more, but we're not doing it.
This is why I'm not very good at those questions.
What actor claims Stu is definitely alive after the release of Scream 7? In fact, he claimed it yesterday.
It's got to be Matthew Lillard, surely.
It is Matthew Lillard. You're now on 10 points. The most you can get out of this is 20 points with your final question.
Yay!
Scream became one of only 6 horror franchises to break $1 billion across all of their movies. You can get 10 points for every one of the other 5 franchises you can name. Every one you name wrong, you lose 15 points. So you're currently on 10 points. You could have a massive score here if you can name the other 5 franchises that have grossed over $1 billion. I'm good. Okay, it is correct. So you're now on 20 points. Before you carry on, I'm going to help you and tell you it's none of the big hitters. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Texas Chainsaw are not on this list.
So it.
Yep, you're 20 points. Well done.
Halloween.
No.
Fuck off. Gordon Greens didn't make over that.
The entire Halloween franchise combined has not made $1 billion.
Right, okay. It.
You've lost 15 points. You're now on 5 points.
The Conjuring.
Yep. You're on 15 points now. There's 3
Paranormal
more.
Activity.
Nope. You're on 0. You can stop at any time. You can stop now on 0 points, or you can keep going.
And there's 5 of them.
There's 5 of them, and so far you've got 2 of them. There's 3 left.
Horror franchises to exceed $1 billion.
One of them, you love the franchise as well. In fact, 2 of them, you love the franchise. One of them is, you would probably sit here and say, that's my franchise. That's my video game franchise. That is
Resident Evil.
There you go. 10 points. You're on 10 points. Are you going to take a stab at the last two, or are you going to walk away with your 10 points?
You know I'm going to take a stab at the last two. I am so fucking tempted to say the Alien franchise.
Are you
I
going?
don't know, based on their history, whether they justify it or not. I feel like I'm going to kick myself if you tell me that they're in it and it's not. Right. I'm going to say the Alien franchise.
Correct. You're now on 20 points. There's one franchise left. Are you going to take your 20 and walk away, or are you going to have another guess?
Can I have a moment to think about it? Because I can't think outside of my brain.
I will give you a clue.
I can. There's one that I think.
The final
I don't know if
franchise.
it's got enough movies in it to do it.
Well, it's not that. The final franchise has 10 movies in its franchise.
Oh, shit. Right. Okay. Because I was going to go down the Hannibal route. I'll be honest.
No.
With you. So there's 10 movies.
There's 10 movies. Since the early 2000s.
10 movies. Oh, it's a Saw franchise.
It is, correct. You are on 30 points. You round this off with 30 points. Well done.
I feel like you drip fed me a little bit of those.
I did, because the maths was getting hard. If you were going to keep throwing franchises at me and I had to keep subtracting 15 into minus figures, I'd have lost all sense.
That's really surprising to me, though, that you've got, what was it? It was Saw, Alien.
See, this is the order that they sit in their rankings as well. So The Conjuring is the highest, then Alien, then Resident Evil, then It, then Saw. And do you know the most?
Two movies as well.
It's done that off of 2 movies. That's how good that franchise.
People always say the first one, but like that was straight TV. That was a TV movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
mega
wild.
money. Right. Let's do the fun bit that Mark loves and I really enjoy as well.
He's the king of the spool, the lord of the stack. If it's on magnetic tape, there's no turning back. From the floor to the ceiling, he's a mastermind hoarder, keeping analog alive on the edge of the border. Rewind, the night under the static flip. It's Mark, VHS from the crypt.
It's the VHS hunt.
Hey! That was a bit too much.
I wish I had cheering. You can have some Sidney Prescott gunshot. There you go.
Right. So this week on VHS from the Hunt Crypt thing is... No, I'm just kidding. This is the better version of the Scream movie, and this is my copy of Halloween 2018. Awesome. This is a great movie. However, obviously this week I am going to go with my ex-rental copy of the original Scream movie, and the white lighting is killing me. This is fantastic. I love this. I love the white cover, and I post this quite a lot on my Instagram page, and every time I do so, the Americans go crazy because of how cool the cover art is for the UK release version. I do own an American copy of the release, and I'll showcase you them side by side so you can see how fucking piss poor the American version is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we got the all white. I can't get the lighting right to show you how cool it is. The all white version, which is just fucking amazing cover art at its finest. And then you've got the generic American release.
Keep showing, because it's one of the few VHS tapes I own. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I gave you these, didn't I not?
You did. I'm gonna go have a look, see which cover I've got. Hold on.
You'll have the white cover because it's the version I gave you.
Keep him busy.
This is fantastic. I love this. And again, we always play the Blockbuster Lottery when we do my reveals on VHS tapes. And this is a Blockbuster Lottery. There you go. Ex-rental, Blockbuster stamp. I love it for all it sins. It's a great, great VHS tape. And I also very much cherish my NTC American slipcart version. It's cool. One thing I like about the slipcart versions from the Americans is they don't have sticky labels on them. They actually print the on the plastic tape itself, which is really, really cool.
So I got this. This is what you gave me. It's the Scream
trilogy.
One and two box set.
Yes, that's cool. Did I give you a copy of Scream 3 as well, did I not?
You did, yeah. So yeah,
Yes, white cover. There you go.
I have the
Brilliant
white
cover.
cover, and then
I love the cover art for Scream 2 as well. I think that's a fantastic cover art.
yeah, and this box set is awesome. Like I love this box set, and
Yeah,
I've got
it's really cool. Cool.
I moved these out, so they were behind me, but they're not. They're over there now, and I've got Scream 1, 2, and 3 on VHS, and then I've got 4, 5, and 6 on DVD next to it.
Yeah, man, it's a cool box set that as well, and I loved that. I loved owning that, and if I didn't just collect big box X rentals, that would have been one of the pieces that I would have really liked to have had in here on display. But as again, I own them all X rental copies, and it was just one of those where I had like multiple copies of the Scream franchise, and I knew obviously you were setting up what you were doing there, and I was like, yeah, man, this would be a great display piece for you. You should have this in your office.
Yeah. And to be honest, I probably should have put it behind me for this episode, and I didn't.
You maybe should have done, man. But again, now I've realized that you don't appreciate gifts, and I know not to send you anything else.
Ouch. Make sure you follow Mark. He's at VHS from the Crypts on at VHS from the Crypt on Instagram, and at Reviews from the Crypt on Instagram as well. Both really awesome pages. Like if you're into physical media collection or movie reviews, Mark absolutely nails it better than. On the VHS side, I'm going to say you are one of, if not the best VHS account on the whole of Instagram. You're so good at what you do.
I
You are.
like that crown, but I will say that I think the collection that I have and that I have amassed is fucking epic. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of accounts out there that have some very stylized way of portraying photos and their stuff like that, but it's not necessarily more a case of the account. It's more a case of the journey with me and the stuff that I'm collecting and the things that I've amassed. And I think I have a very fucking solid, vast collection of horror tapes that would probably outmass most people who are doing a similar sort of thing. There are certainly accounts out there who stylize it better than me and have things out there that are cooler looking than the way I tend to present them to you all, but I know for a fact they don't have a collection I have. Maybe I just need some schooling on how to Instagram.
No, I think your account's great. So yeah, go and follow Mark at Reviews from the Crypt and at VHS from the Crypt. And that is it for this week. Do not despair. We're going to be back next week with a brand new episode picked by all of you. Thankfully, out of all of the shit that you gave us, we ended up with a half decent movie.
I only know what the two were in the finale, and I'm very, very worried now because I knew which direction I wanted this to go in because I'd voted for it all the way through, but I don't know what it is.
So the final was Seed of Chucky
and Ghost Ship.
And Ghost Ship, and I posted the last vote with big arrows pointing to Ghost Ship, an arrow pointing to Ghost Ship, and crosses and all sorts over Seed of Chucky going, I'm not trying to sway your vote. And everybody thought I was bluffing. Because what happens when I normally do that is people will go against me because they want me to suffer. And this time they didn't. They went, oh, no. He's trying to be clever. He doesn't want Ghost Ship. So we're going to vote for Ghost Ship. And guess what? I wanted Ghost Ship and we got it.
Thanks, folk, for that, man. I did not want to do Seed of Chucky. That is the most awful movie in the franchise. I hate it with every ounce of my being. I like Ghost Ship quite a lot.
Yeah, I do too. And we've already reviewed Seed of Chucky all the way back in season 1. I've done it with my mother-in-law, which was an
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's a very random movie to do with your mother-in-law.
I think I released it on like Mother's Day weekend. And she doesn't watch horror movies, and that was one of the first horror movies she watched.
Wow!
Like she was like, I don't get some of it. I'm like, what bits don't you get? She's like, all of it. She's like, what? It's like, what? Why are they dolls?
I need to go back and listen to that episode. I'll be.
It's very much like, why are they dolls? Why are they alive? What's going on with their son? Why did they impregnate? I don't. What's going on? Why is Jennifer Tilly there? There was lots of that.
I was speaking to Beck the other day. This girl loves horror, for those of you who based on tags and stuff. And she was like, she'd seen every Child's Play movie, and she's like, oh yeah, I really like the Child's Play franchise. Really, really good movies. I've never seen Seed though. And I was like, so you've watched everything and you've somehow managed to get into Cult and Curse of Chucky, but you've never seen Seed of Chucky. She's like, no, I've never watched it. She's like, I like watched the entirety of the TV series as well. I'm like, that is the worst, wildest thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
Did
like,
did she go and watch Seed afterwards?
Yeah, she went back and watched it. There's a review up on her page if you want to check out what she thought of the movie. But yeah, it blew my mind to the fact that she had watched like 1, 2, 3, Bride, skipped Seed, gone on to watch Curse and Cult, then done season 1, 2, and 3 of the TV series, but never seen Seed of Chucky.
To be fair, I think she'd done it right.
No, she definitely did it right. She had the best experience of anybody I know who's watched the franchise.
Next week, we're going to be back with Ghost Ship with the best opening scene of any horror movie ever, and it's not even close. And until then, that's your homework. Go and watch that. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you all next Tuesday.
Peace out, bitches.
You want to die tonight?
You're on podcast. You're on podcast. Late at night, I tune into your show where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Mark set the scene. I hang on every word, lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's fucking long round ups. You're on podcasts, horror movie reviews, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You're on podcasts.